Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Monday Night Self-Care Session. My name is Stephanie Burton, and this is Project Glow, where I teach mostly women, but also men, how to fall in love with themselves first and thereby stop overcaring, overgiving, and putting their own needs last. Tonight, we have a very beautiful, juicy, awesome topic, and that is how to actually trust the universe. Now, you've probably heard a lot of different information about trusting the universe all over your social media feed and various types of personal development groups and workshops along the path of your seeking. So tonight, what I wanted to concentrate on is just to get into the specifics and the mechanics of how do you actually get to a place where you can really feel it, believe it, and not just give it lip service. If you have any questions about this topic while I chat away, please post it in the comments below. I can see it on the screen, and I will make sure that I incorporate your question along the way. So thank you so much for being here with me. I love your questions, and this was one of them. How do I actually trust the universe? So before we get into the juice of it, we kind of have to pick it apart a little. So the two big words that really stand out in that statement is trust and universe. And I have to do the trust part before the universe. So trusting is actually a completely and utterly misconceived concept in today's society. Because if you think about the idea of trusting something or someone, actually underneath it is a very egocentric, selfish approach to a situation where you say, I'm going to just hang out here and feel really safe and comfortable as long as you, on the other side, you being a thing, an event, a person, or the universe itself, as long as you keep doing what I want you to do, as long as you keep doing what I expect you to do. But in that is really the complete and utter denial of who that person really is. So if I say to you, I trust you, then that's really tangled up in me wanting to feel safe, knowing that you're going to just carry on behaving the way that I am used to you behaving and the way that I expect you to behave. But what if on the next time I see you, you feel differently or something great trauma has happened to you? The truth is that as human beings, we evolve every single day. And more so, each individual human being has an individual and unique set of values. So the things that I value in my life are completely different than the things you value in your life. So when I say I trust you, the really proper way to honor you for who you are is that I trust you to be who you truly and authentically are. And that one day might be this, tomorrow it might be that, the next day it might be something different. So trust is really, it's a loaded word, isn't it? So trust is, in the general sense, is a very selfish, ego obsessed way of making sure that every single person around us just always behaves to our favor and always behaves in a way that makes us feel comfortable and safe. Well, that's not really an awakened and enlightened kind of approach to life. I hope that you have people in your life that trust you to be you. And that's how I feel about this situation is I trust you to make the decisions according to your highest values every single day. That might not always be in my favor, but if I truly and completely and utterly love you, which is I accept both your light and your darkness within the whole, then I trust that you're going to do whatever you feel is right for you on any given day. So when we take this and now apply it with regards to trusting the universe, that's slightly different, because when we talk about trusting the universe, really what we're saying is we generally never say I need to trust the universe when things are going well. Usually these phrases pop into our minds when we get into a place where things are not going our direction, things are challenging, we're facing obstacles. So the real question is how do I get into a state where I can rely on the fact that things are going to work out in the long run, even though I'm facing these current difficult situations. Now, if you've watched my videos so far, you'll find that I talk about the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the, benefit and drawback of everything. So you within yourself have light and dark. The universe within itself has light and dark. And so when we're talking about trusting a person, every single person has within themselves both lightness and darkness. And the dark isn't something you need to squirrel away and be ashamed of. Your light and your darkness are perfectly aligned to push you and align you with your greater destiny and the greatest expression of who you are as a soul, which is, after all, the purpose of life. That's what you're here to do, to be completely and utterly authentically yourself. Now, the work that I do is to teach people how to fall in love with themselves first, which ties in with this universal purpose of really being truly authentic yourself, because in today's world, a lot of us struggle with being the real me as such, because we're being bombarded in all sorts of directions by media and peers and family and culture, whatever you want to call it, about how we should be. And then if we didn't get what we needed in childhood to really establish firm and solid boundaries and really differentiate between the outside and the inside, then we're pretty much set up for a nightmare. So taking that back to how do I trust the universe? Well, within that, first of all, we need to go and see who the universe authentically and truly is. And I'm going to reach over and get my trusty meditation cushion. Here it is. The universe is completely and utterly balanced. It is always in perfect alignment. It will always deliver to you at any given point in time a perfect synthesis of complementary opposites. So in real English and normal language, that means at any given time in your life, whenever you're facing a challenge or an obstacle, you cannot only just face that obstacle, even though your mind will tell you that it is only bad and only dark and only difficult. But we know that the true authentic nature of the universe is that it's always in perfect balance. So you will never be challenged without support. You will never find that there's an obstacle without the answer in your life, ever. And the way that you really prove that into your mind and really ingrain that into your neural system and your neural networks is you need to go back through your life and see how actually every single time you were challenged, there was always the perfect complementary and opposite and equal support there right along. Now, a lot of the times we can't see that because our mind, when we're only operating from the place of our mind and not the place of our heart, because to be balanced as a human being, you need to have access to both. If you're just stuck in your mind, in your primal part of your, of your being, then very quickly you'll focus just on the bad. And very often, because the support doesn't come in the way that you ideally would want it, but the universe always delivers it to you in the way that you truly need it, you'll get into a place where you'll look around and you'll go, oh, my job is gone, my health is gone, my partner is gone, not looking where the universe has moved it, because remember, the second law of thermodynamics says energy can't be created or destroyed. It always shifts into a different form that is mostly aligned with your highest calling and greatness. So, the universe, at the end of the day, will never leave you stranded. Whenever there is a dark, let's hold that up so you can really see that. Whenever there's a dark part, whatever obstacle you're facing, whatever challenge you're going through, the universe will always, at the same time, deliver to you exactly the support that is needed to meet you in a balanced way. Because that's what life is about. We're consistently being sandwiched by challenge and support, so that together we're squished, we're grown and guided towards the greatest expression of who we are. So, when you want to trust the universe, the number one way to do that is to acknowledge it for its true divine structure, which is light and dark, always perfectly aligned. Okay, so here's what you do. When you're facing that challenge and you're going, oh, I really want to trust the universe that everything's going to work out. Well, what does work out actually mean? Work out means that you're going to go and face this challenge with exactly the support you need, and it's happening at exactly the right pace for you to be challenged. Because guess what, as human beings, we only really grow to be challenged. This is one of the great conundrums about being human. We don't really change, we don't really grow unless we're uncomfortable and we're facing stuff, because then you really dig into your resilience and you dig into your tools and your skills. And we grow through adverse situations. Okay, so you're trusting that it's going to be okay at the end of the day. Yes, if you're going through a challenge right now with the perfect support, okay, well, guess what? Tomorrow, the next day, the next week, the next month, there will still be challenges and support. Perfectly aligned. You cannot ever not be in this complete and utter sanctuary sandwiched between the two. Of course it's going to be all right, because no matter what you are facing at any point in your life, you will always be supported in exactly the right way. Your job is to go and take your mind and look around your life to look exactly where the opposite support is. So, most of the time, most of us can only do that on paper. I still, to this day, decades later, do this work on paper. You need to write out exactly what you're being challenged by at the moment, and then go and look who, what, and when, and how are you being supported through this situation. Because the support is on your side, but the challenge is on your side as well. So step number one is go and look where the equal support is to your challenge, because you will never, ever, ever be in a one-sided situation. So that's step one. Step one is find the blessing, find the juice, find the support, what is still going right, despite at the same time your obstacle is churning away at you like a piece of coal, turning you in a diamond. So step number one. Step number two is the only way that your mind can truly step into relaxing in the universe, into its flow, into its guidance, into hearing, direction, and really accessing our resilience, is only when your mind can see that the challenge is equal the support. So you can't get into a situation where you go, okay, I'm being challenged by this, and my mate or my partner is supporting me. That's not how this works. It is equal. It has to be equal. Your brain can only start to relax into your heart once you have proved to it that the challenge is equal the support. So number one, step one in this process, in this sequence, from going from your head space to your heart space, the sort of shortcut version. Step one, where is the support right now to the challenges that you're going through? Step two, carry on adding things to that list until it is equal. So now a lot of people ask me, well, how do I know it's equal? You will know it's equal when your physiology tells you it's equal. And by physiology, I mean your breathing will slow down, your head won't race anymore, your body will relax, because this is what happens to you when you go into a state of fight, flight, fear. All those responses are only triggered by one-sided perceptions. Because that's how this interaction between our body and the universe works. The universe behind the scenes is always balanced. It will never, ever, ever, ever let you down. It is only our minds that goes into places where it either says, oh, that situation is only good, or that situation is only bad, and that then triggers our physiology. And when I say physiology, I mean both the high of only seeing the positives, infatuation. I'm sure you remember meeting a really hot guy or girl the first time and you're going, oh my God, I'm so excited. Yeah, that's a state of infatuation, because in that moment, because the universe is flooding your system with all sorts of juicy chemicals, what's happening, you're only seeing the light of the situation. And then as you get to know the person more and more and more, you start to see the shadow. Now, most people say then that person has let me down, where actually no, that person is just showing you the totality of who they are. And let's remember, you are completely light and dark balanced as well. And true love, real love, not the type that we're being sold by movies and magazines, is not just the high of the one-sidedness of something or someone. I want you to think of someone that you love deeply, a family member, a friend. Guess what? They've got tons of downsides, and that is a price you're willing to pay. The key part here to really identify is you don't love them despite their downsides or despite their flaws. It's a price you pay happily. It's just something you take in. You love them for all of who they are. And so this is funky when you first get to meet someone, because you don't know them well enough yet. You only know the light, especially through dating, because we put our best foot forward, but actually anybody is light and dark. So when you're in a state of infatuation, is literally visually when your mind has just completely blocked out the dark side. That can be somebody you meet, a new job, a new place to live. In the beginning, when we're in infatuation, that's what your mind does. It says there is no downside. And then when the downside slowly comes, because the universe will always bring you information to bring you back into balance, because this is where you can be truly yourself and where you can see others for their true self as well. So resentment is exactly the opposite. Resentment is when your brain has said, there is no upside. And that's when we usually take out the phrase of, I really want to trust the universe. But the universe is already on your side. So let's recap. Step 1, find the support, find the light to your situation so that you can slowly get yourself into a place of balance. Step 2, you have to add to the other side until it is equal, and you will only know when you're equal within your physiology. Your breath will deepen and relax. Your body will calm down. Your mind will start to get still. I personally get a little click inside where I then I really know that it's equal, but each one of you will have an individual way of knowing, but you have to do the work. There's no way around it. This is not something you can at the beginning do in your head. You have to put it on paper, because your mind is going to be leaning towards telling you the story that it's only a downside, that it's only a downside. And this is what happens when you go into your place where your mind believes that, that this is only dark, that there's no light like that. Your brain goes, it's only dark, there's only challenge, it's all going wrong. Well, then your physiology has to pay the price. And you can't eat, you can't sleep, your breathing becomes shallow, your brain gets muddled. So, recap. Step 1, find the light, find the benefit, find the goodness, find the exact balance. Keep going. So that's step 2. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going until it goes click. Until you've reconnected your head, which is all about panic, fear, reaction. You've reconnected your head to your heart, and that's by doing benefit, 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 benefit. And look for those benefits everywhere. Your finances, your fitness, your food, your friends, your social interactions, your work, your home. Go and look every single nook and cranny of your life where the benefit is. Then, once you've gotten to equal light and dark, and you can feel it in your physiology when it has gone click, the next step you take is then you rise into your higher awareness and ask the question, how is this obstacle and challenge growing and guiding me towards my greatness? Because the universe is completely on your side in any situation. It delivers you exactly the right support with exactly the right challenge. So step 3 is looking as specifically to your life. How is this challenge exactly the right thing you need to get to the next step? And how is that step taking you towards your greatness? Now, understanding sort of your greatness and really getting into a place where you are aware of your purpose makes that third step so much quicker, so much easier. So I'm going to give you my example. And please don't think that I popped out of my mum's womb going, oh, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to teach women how to fall in love with themselves. This has been a process that has lasted decades. There have been so many rabbit holes and cul-de-sacs and dead ends. But eventually, a couple of years ago, I arrived in that place where I really completely and utterly understood who I was and what I was born to do and how I was going to do it. So now, as soon as an obstacle comes into my life, it immediately does the process by itself because it's like a muscle. I've done this over and over again. So say, for instance, let's take my divorce. I talk about it a lot. So when my divorce stepped into my life, the first question that popped into my head after I had looked at, okay, where is the opposite? So if I felt rejected by the situation, who was supporting me, who was coming in? Because if this person is leaving, something has got to come back in as well. But the real key thing for me was, how is this situation growing and guiding me towards my greatness? Now, it would be, reasonably difficult to look at situations like that. A, if you've not done that before, but B, also when you're not that clear on who you are and where you're going. Because then at that point, I could immediately say, okay, this divorce has come into my life. I now have to deal with financial things and legal things. How are these things going to make me a better coach for women to fall in love with themselves first? Can you see I'm hooking the two to each other? And that makes the whole thing so much easier. So please invest some real solid time in getting clear on your purpose, because then as soon as challenge comes in, your brain is going to go, I know the universe has delivered me this thing, because without this experience right here and now, whether that is relationship difficulties, health problems, business problems, you name it, the universe doesn't do things for random laughs. It's here. I always say, if you've been coaching with me, you will have heard me say this before. If it's here, it's divine. If it's divine, it's here for me. And that's what it is. The universe doesn't do anything random. All these difficult things that have come into your life are not here to annoy you. They are here to challenge you with exactly the right amounts of support, and towards they squish you together into this alignment place where you can then grow step by step by step towards your greatest expression of who you are and your vision. So let me recap that once more. The 3 steps that you need to take, and this is just the surface level work. We can go much more detail. But I only have time now for the 3 top steps. And these 3 steps are like the Pareto rule, is they really will give you about 70 to 80% of, the feeling of really being able to trust the universe. You must find the opposite to what you're experiencing. You must carry on finding the opposite until it is equal. You will only know that in your physiology. Some challenges I can do 20 benefits. Some challenges I've had to do 500-600 benefits on a great big poster next to my bed. I just every day keep adding benefits to the challenge that I'm going through. How can I say thank you to this challenge? How can I say thank you to this challenger? Because guess what? This whole concept of forgiveness, well, that's only really possible when you can say thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow towards my light. Forgiveness without gratitude and seeing the divine complementary opposite, and how you're always being supported and challenged at exactly the right time, at exactly the right place. Forgiveness is absolutely and categorically impossible without seeing the balance and the benefit of how you're constantly being guided towards a greater version of yourself. And that is all I have for you today. Those are the 3 steps. Find the opposite. Make sure you go opposite, opposite, opposite until it's equal. And step 3 is, how is this challenge or challenger guiding and growing me towards my greatness? And remember, it's much, much easier if you've done the work and you've spent some time getting really clear on your purpose, because that makes the whole process of linking your purpose to your challenge just instantly. Your brain will instantly go, this is my purpose. How is this thing coming in? Actually, how is this challenge and challenger my training ground to become an absolute badass ninja superhero at what I have been born to do and what I know I'm here to share with the world. That's all I have for you for today, and I'm really grateful for spending this lovely time with you. Make sure that you have posted your questions in the comments. If you are not sure about posting your question in the comments, make sure you private message me. There is no such thing as a silly question, and if you asking me these questions, you're also paying it forward to your lovely the lovely ladies that are all around you every single day, because whenever you ask a question, I then make a Monday night self-care session of it if it's a big topic. If not, I will always answer it on my Tuesday night self-love Q&A, and I hope to see you there tomorrow night. Make sure that you take time to really appreciate that you are not this random occurrence of a couple of cells being joined together and you're just here for, I don't know, background music. You have been born with a purpose, and everything that has ever happened to you and everything that is happening to you right here, right now, no matter how difficult it is, you will never be stranded. The universe will always support you at the same time. But like my teacher and mentor, Dr. John DeMartini says, the quality of your life always relies on the quality of the questions that you keep asking yourself. And those questions are, where is the opposite? How am I supported? How is it equal to the challenge? And how am I experiencing this challenge by being pushed and forced to grow and be guided towards my greatness? Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow on the Self-Love Q&A. Bye.